Hi everyone, today we are going to talk about theme. This is brand new for you and it might be a little challenging at first, but I know you are going to just shoot on through it and you are always going to be the rock stars you are. So let's start with our I can statement. And here it is. I can find the theme of a text by finding evidence of the hidden message. Interesting. So, let's see if I can make this bigger for you. All right. So what is theme? Themes in literature. Today we're going to have some virtual cupcakes. So go ahead and get your virtual cupcake out and sit it right by your computer. What is theme? Do you know what theme is? Pause right now and think about what is theme. Have you heard it before in second grade? Is it brand new to you? A theme is a central idea or message of a story. A theme is often somewhat hidden, and usually the reader needs to infer the theme. Remember, we inferred a couple weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago, and we made our inferences with our background knowledge, our schema, and the clues we found in the text. So we're going to use that to come up with our theme or the message of the story. Think of a moral of the story. What's the moral of the story? After reading an entire story or book, the reader should consider the overall message the author was trying to convey through the book. So you're just going to think to yourself, what is the author trying to tell me, but not really telling me? What is the central idea or overall message that the author expects the reader to realize by the time the reader finishes the story? So kind of like what we just said. So we're going to use an analogy, and that's kind of when you compare two things that aren't similar and make them similar. So I want you to think, get this cupcake that you have right by your computer. Have you ever sunk your teeth into a cream-filled cupcake? A cream-filled cupcake. Have you ever just taken a big old bite? What did you find hidden inside the cupcake? Go ahead and take a bite of your imaginary virtual cupcake. Eventually, you should bite into the yummy filling. That filling is good. You can't see it on the outside, but it was there the entire time. So the theme of a book is like the cream filling of a cupcake. Think of the entire cupcake as your book. Your book is the cupcake. And the theme is the hidden message inside the book. You can determine the theme once you start reading the book. You have to read in order to know the theme, and you probably have to read most, if not all, of the book. So the theme is hidden inside that book. Do you remember the tale of Little Red Riding Hood? What is the theme of this tale? What was the author trying to tell you or teach you? What lesson were they trying to teach you? Pause right here and think about it. The theme of Little Red Riding Hood is appearances can sometimes be deceiving. Things don't always look like what they are. And how do we know this is the theme? Well, the wolf seemed kind, so Little Red Riding Hood trusted him. She told the wolf where the grandmother lived. Then the devious wolf tricked Little Red Riding Hood by sneaking into her grandmother's house and disguising himself as the grandmother. So we're going to read this short story and we're going to determine the theme. But before we do this, I want to look at some different themes. I think you need to see different themes that can happen in the stories. So a theme, again, is the message, moral, or lesson of a story. They rarely explicitly state, which means they rarely tell you what they are, but they're inferred by the reader, and they usually make you emotional. They evoke some kind of emotion. So one is acceptance. One common theme is acceptance, the stories of characters that show respect and accept others' differences and beliefs. Another one is teamwork. And I will upload these so you have these as well, just to look at, so you can go back and read more about what each one is. We have courage, overcoming challenges, perseverance, take a stand, don't let anyone ever dull your sparkle, honesty, be honest, believe in yourself, you can do anything, compassion, kindness, be yourself, be happy with what you have, don't be afraid to try new things, friendship, and some of them have multiple. You can have friendship and don't be afraid to try new things. You could have a bunch. So those are some of the common ones that you might see. So let's go back. Let's read the short story and determine the theme. Dan, why don't you get started on that science project tonight? Mom said. Mom, it's not even due for 2 more weeks. I have plenty of time to finish it, Dan replied as he sat on the couch watching TV. But if you get it done now, you won't have to worry about it, Mom reminded him. Don't worry, Mom. I'll get it done, Dan answered. 1 week later, the project was still unfinished. When Dan's mom reminded him to get started on the project, he promised to start on it the next day. The next day, however, Dan became sick with a severe case of the flu. He spent the next 3 days in bed. He finally felt better the day before the science project was due. At 9:30 p.m., Dan put the finishing touches on his project. However, he still had to write a report. Ugh, he groaned. I have learned my lesson, Mom. I will never do this again. So let's ask ourselves, what is the central idea or overall message that the author expects the reader to realize by the time the reader finishes the story? What do you think the theme of this story is? Well, think about Dan and his mom and the conversation they had and what happened because he got sick. I want you to think of all those things and put them together in your mind. When given a time-consuming task, finish it as soon as possible. That's the theme. Or in other words, don't wait until the last minute. Don't put things off. That is the theme. Keep in mind that a book's theme can be worded in different ways, just like we said. So why do we think this is the theme? Because Dan had many opportunities to do his project, but he kept putting it off until a later date. Then something unexpected occurred. He got sick, and he had to scramble to complete the project at the last minute. Let's do one more. Ooh, this one's a long one. Read this short story and determine the theme. Your grandparents called and said that they are going to visit tonight, said April and Ashley's dad at dinner time. Let's wait to have dessert until they arrive. We can have some cookies. April groaned. I don't want to wait. I want my dessert now. Well, if you choose to have your dessert now, you won't get any when your grandparents arrive, her dad said. I know, April replied. She went to the cupboard and helped herself to 2 cookies. I'll wait for Grandpa and Grandma, said Ashley. When the girls' grandparents arrived an hour later, they announced that they wanted to take the girls to the nearby ice cream shop for a treat. They knew the girls loved going there. Ashley hasn't had her dessert yet, so she can go. April already had her dessert for the night, though. She'll get to stay home with me, their dad explained. April sadly watched out the window as Ashley and her grandparents left for the ice cream shop. Wow, how would you feel if that was you and you had to stay home? So remember to ask yourself, what is the central idea or overall message that the author expects the reader to realize by the time the reader finishes the story? All right, what do you think the theme of this story is? The theme of this story is be patient. We all could learn a thing or two about being patient. We know this because April was not willing to wait to eat her dessert. She missed out on a better opportunity that presented itself a short time later. So I want you to think of our I can statement. I can find the theme of a text by finding evidence of the hidden message. We've talked about theme and we have found the evidence of the hidden message, but I want you to try to do this by yourself independently. So what we're going to do is we are going to go to your Google Classroom and you are going to have the PowerPoint companion. You saw me fill it out on this, you saw me talk about it on this video, but I want you to go through the PowerPoint and answer these questions. So we talked about what theme was and you know what you need to know. The guiding question related to theme. What do I keep asking you after we read each passage? That's what goes there. And what is the theme of Little Red Riding Hood? We talked about that. I want you to go ahead and fill in the theme for this one that we already did. And we already did this one. If it has a line through it, don't do it. I'm not going to have you read the chapter book. But I want you to do these two, and I'm going to check these as just a little quick check to see if you're understanding. So you're going to do this one, and you just type here. And this one, you just double click on those gray spots, and it's going to open up a text box for you. Okay? So remember our I can statement. I can find the theme of a text by finding evidence of the hidden message. So I want you to go do that, friends, and I'm going to pull you for small group. I can't wait to see you. Bye.